Should a woman bail her partner out financially? Oof. This is real. We're going to talk about this in detail right after this. Hello, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, right here where we teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status and high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. If that sounds like you're on the right channel, and you are absolutely welcome. We love you. We love you. We love you. And so let's have this conversation. I hope you're following me on my Instagram, Black Swan Relationship Academy, because that is where all of the reels are coming through. It's fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about this. You know, I've been online and I have seen a lot of these reels of, you know, a gorgeous young man with this beautiful young woman and he's saying, you know, this woman was with me when I had nothing. She supported me. She paid for me. She held me down, and now that I'm a millionaire, you know, and I own all of this, it's all hers. And I love her and I adore her, and I will never look at another woman ever because of what we have built here together. Or we've heard the story of, you know, when I was down and out, this woman held. I mean, we've heard those stories, and they have been put on the digital space or on the internet as, yeah, that's a real woman. You know, a woman that holds her man down and supports him through everything. And so, if you were anything like me, you thought, oh, I want to be that girl for my man. I want to be that girl that when he eventually makes it to the finish line, I'll be the one waiting, and I will be the one that he will, you know, crown his queen, and I will be the queen of everything that he surveys. I want to be that girl. And so many of us have been caught in a horrible trap. Now, I'd love to sit here and say to you, do not give a man money ever. I would love to be able to say that, because that would make my life so much easier, and it keeps everybody safe. But safety is usually not a great protocol when we're trying to find love. We should really be having more of a bold and brave and courageous outcome in the way that we think, if it's love that we want, because we are going to be disappointed, we are going to get hurt. So we need to be brave to get up and keep going. And that's how we find love. We can't want to be safe, like, all the time about everything, right? So I'm going to discuss this with you. Now, when it comes to sharing money, this is something that if you are a person who money represents different things to you, for you, money might be a representation of safety, security, longevity, status. Money means different things to different people. But for most men, money is usually power. Power to get the woman they want. Power to be able to manage and have some control over the relationship dynamic. Power to speak. Confidence to be able to lead. And pride in themselves for being able to provide. And we're talking about the healthy masculine man, of course. We're not talking about the wounded men or the psychopaths, sociopaths. We're not discussing them. So don't be in my comments talking about those guys, because we don't discuss those guys here. Okay? We're discussing normal guys, regular guys, high quality guys. They want to provide, they want to protect, they want to cherish. And a man wants to be the one that swoops in and saves the day. Fairy tales weren't just written for women, they were written because they were reflecting deeply on the nature of men. there's some of us right now who probably need to call me because you're obsessed with being rescued by a man and you don't feel you can save yourself. I know women who are stuck, feeling like they need a man to save them. And that is a wound that we can discuss by calling the blackswanrelationshipacademy.com and booking a discovery call with any of our coaches. If you're that girl who's still waiting to be saved by a guy and you feel that's really something for you, give us a call. But a man wants to be that guy. He wants a masculine man. He wants to be the hero. He wants to be the savior. He wants to be the reason why everything, the lights are on, the food is in the fridge, and his world and his kingdom is in order because he's that guy who makes it possible, provides, right? And don't we find that guy sexy? We do. We respect that guy. We honor that guy. We love that guy. We think he's amazing. We do, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. But whenever that guy is put in a position where he has to receive and he has to be rescued, his circumstances and his situation will make him bow a knee, because while he's losing everything, lost everything, has nothing, can see his life going in the wrong direction real fast, and in this moment you are the girl with the financial resources, and in this moment you can save the day. His situation will compel him, will force him, will throttle him into conforming to you being the savior. But alongside all of that pressure and that necessitating will develop feelings of resentment, will develop low self-esteem in him, will develop this feeling of not being enough and needing a woman to save him. So what some guys will do is they will take the blessing from your hand and they will lose sexual attraction for you because you have got into the mothering role. A man can run to his mother for a bailout anytime, but when he runs to the woman he hopefully one day needs and wants respect from, and he has to do it for his daily bread, he has to do it for his food, he's got to do it for his clothes, he's got to do it for his daily provisions. We're not talking about a big business endeavor or trying to save his company. We're talking about his day-to-day needs. He can't get through the day, the week, the month, the year, the season without coming to you, without needing from you, without relying on you. Honey, he will resent you. He will resent you because he resents himself. He hates himself. He can't stand himself. But instead of actually sitting with himself and saying, look, I don't want to be this guy, he takes the help because he's desperate. And what many women have found is that the stories we hear on the internet, those are exceptional men. Those to do and to give a man money in the hope of becoming Steve Harvey's wife or that guy's, queen who surveys the land. That's like 1 in a billion, 1 in a million. Because I can guarantee you that even if he marries you, even if he takes care of you in the end, even if he will lose respect for himself, and he will punish you severely for it. And the even worse thing is he won't see himself doing it. He won't see himself losing attraction. But you will feel it. You will feel his resentment. He will start withholding sexual attention from you. He will start withholding affection. He will start withholding compliments. He will start withholding and draining you so bad emotionally because he wants to find some kind of power dynamic that doesn't include him having money. He wants you begging him for something. He wants you crying out to him for something. Love me, see me, adore me, care for me, please. Be here for me when I need you to be. He wants you needing him for something, so he withholds the oxygen that he brings into the relationship, and then he just withdraws from you financially, and he just won't stop. And he creates this toxic relationship with you, and you end up drained. I cannot tell you how common and often this happens. It is so typical. And you might say, yes, babe, oh, you're different from all the other women because no other woman would do this for a man, but you are special and you are amazing and you get it. And when we get to the other side, I'm going to buy you flowers and I'm going to buy you the universe and we're going to live on top of the hill. But whilst you get there, even if he means it, that journey there is going to be painful, is going to be gruesome. You are going to be a ghost when you arrive. You're going to be a complete ghost. And some men have some honor and some integrity. And because you have bailed them out at a time in their lives, they marry you dutifully. They marry you because they feel beholden to you. They marry because they would be a complete and absolute jerk if they didn't. And then you have to live this life of this robot in your life who is emotionally detached from you, emotionally uninterested, and definitely cheating. Because even the cheating will start as the first hit. You know, when you give him the first help, the first relief, it's like a drug addict getting their hit, right? That's how it's going to feel. And it's going to be, oh, relieved, you're an angel, you're God, you're fantastic. But then he's going to need another hit and another hit, and then he becomes a junkie. And then he misses that look in a woman's eyes. He misses seeing admiration. He misses seeing respect. He misses seeing that awe. And even if you adore him and respect him, nevertheless, he can't interpret that in his eyes because he knows you have seen him naked. You have seen him without his ego. You have seen him without his pretense. You've seen him without his avatar, and that made him feel vulnerable. So there's no way you could possibly respect and admire him, even if you do, even if you try. I know some of you are going to say, Chengi, I know how to respect my man even when even if you try, he is incapable of seeing it because he is going against his masculine nature. He is a man in a receiving position, and it feels awkward because he's not wired for that. He's wired to be the giver, to be in that dominant, giving, leading energy. And now he doesn't know how to stand up as a man. He doesn't feel he can say no in the places he wanted to say no in. He doesn't feel he can lead in the areas he wanted to lead in. And because he is withholding the oxygen that you need, the emotional affection, attention from you, you become mean because you're drained. And possibly if you're watching this, you've probably thrown what you've done for him in his face by now. It's a toxic cycle. And when a woman bails a man out, she creates this toxic cycle. And yes, there are men out here crying, begging, asking, please help me, baby. I need you to help me. We need women that will help us. You are our helpmeet. Deep down inside, they know that we're not here to help them become a man. They know that we're not here to help them find their feet in this world and find their groove. We're not here for that. We're here to help them manage the land that they survey. We're here to help them manage the kingdom they've been given. Eve was not brought to the earth to help Adam figure out what to name the animals and figure out where he should be in the day and figure out his manhood. She was brought to support him, to be with him, to cover certain areas, to help him in his assignment that he already knew, who already had his basic life together that God had provided. I want to thank you so much for your support of this channel. You mean the world to me. And I am so grateful that your likes, your subscriptions, your comments make this work possible. I'd really want to encourage you, before you go any further, if you are enjoying this content, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with somebody that you know will absolutely benefit, because you're changing not only your life, not only the life of your friends, but the lives of women all over the world and children in ways you cannot even begin to imagine. So don't forget, before we get back to the program, to hit that like button and share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. There are a lot of men who don't and will not accept that they cannot take on a relationship unless they are financially secure. And there are a lot of women who won't let them, because we keep rewarding them with dates. We keep rewarding them with our bodies. We keep rewarding the lesser version of who they are with attention, with love, with I want you, because we're more desperate. And the more we reward it, the more we make it normal. There was a time in history when if a man could not prove that he could provide, protect, and cherish, their cultures, tribes, tongues right now in existence, where unless you can prove your ability to endure pain, your ability to provide, whether it's hunting in the wild or, keeping a job, a roof over the head, if you cannot prove, a father was never going to let his daughter come and be with you. He would never give his daughter's hand in marriage to you. But our fathers have abandoned the homes. And so women are giving themselves for free to men. We're giving ourselves for free. And not only are we giving ourselves for free, and when I say for free, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about value. We're not expecting men to bring value, to say, hey, I can provide for you and I can protect for you and then you can say, love it. I love that you can. Now, let's see if we can provide something together. Let's see if we can take what you bring, the seed you give. Let's see if I can take that seed, put it on the inside of my spirit, and bring back something even bigger that we then can survey. A woman is supposed to take what a man gives her. He might have a little one-bedroom apartment, but how can we make that? How can we leverage that together in my womb, in my spiritual womb, and create properties all over the world, or buy a big family home? But if the man does not have anything, he's got no job, he's in a bad situation, or maybe he's fallen on hard times and not been able to get up off his knees for years, you're setting yourself up for the highest level of abuse. You are setting yourself up for the highest level of hurt. Because at the end of the day, that man will choose a woman who he had to fight for. He had to prove himself for. A woman that he showed up at his best. Don't rob yourself or him of the privilege. But that is for dating girls. Girls who are dating, who were maybe even in courtship. But here's the caveat. If you were engaged to be married and he falls upon hard times, even though he showed up for you as a hero in the beginning, he was the provider, he took care of you, he cherished you, he made sure you were okay, he protected your heart from himself and the world, he protected you so beautifully, and he's been competent and capable, and life happens, because life happens to everybody. Maybe the stuff we've just been through the few couple of years where we all had to shut it down, and a lot of people lost their businesses. We may go through a global situation again where businesses may be impacted, or so many terrible tragedies can happen to a great guy who has committed to a lifetime with you. Show up for him. Maybe not 100%, but show up for him. Get together. Make a plan. See what you're going to bring to the table. How you can say, look, here's the situation. We're about to get married. We're engaged to be married. We have our dreams. We have our goals. We have our future. And I'm not going to let what is happening outside of us change our trajectory. I happen to have this amount of money that I have saved and budgeted for emergencies, and I'm prepared to invest it in this emergency and to support you and to hold you up. And maybe that is it might not be a financial need. Maybe the bailout is, hey, you can come and stay with me. I have plenty of room, and I'm going to make sure that you don't have to worry about, your bills and all these other things. Why don't you come and stay with me for maybe a specified amount of time until we get back on our feet? Or a bailout could be, okay, babe, we're not going to be going out. We're not going to be doing all these things. We're going to cancel that holiday, and we're just going to do stuff at home and keep things simple. A bailout, when you have somebody who is committed and has a track record of a lot of months and time of being there for you, showing up for you, it is only right that you show up for them. And in that moment, that dynamic I spoke about earlier won't kick in, because he will know that he has earned the right to be in your life on his own merit. And this is a moment in time that has happened. Now, we don't want that moment to be elongated, because that dynamic I spoke about will enter. It will enter a marriage. It will enter an engagement situation if it is a prolonged situation. We don't want to prolong it, because the real bailout is to find a way to get him off his knees and on his feet again. And sometimes that is emotional encouragement. That is a greater emotional investment. That is securing him into understanding, buying, and believing that you are not going anywhere because he doesn't have what he used to have. That you still admire him. That you still see the awesomeness in him. That you believe in him more than anyone in the world believes in him. Sometimes the bailout a man needs is a cheerleader, is somebody to hold him up and remind him of the king that he is. It's not always financial, but there are times when we need to put our hand in our pocket and share some love with a good man that absolutely deserves it in a specified time. This is really, really important that you get exactly what I'm talking about, because if you don't, you will be in a very horrible situation, and you will spend such a long time trying to recover from making that decision. And if you're anything like me, I am so tender-hearted, and so I hate to see suffering. I hate to see it in the world. I hate to see it in my family. I feel it really affects me badly when I see somebody struggle. And so I always want to reach out and do something. And I have, like many women, had that soft heart and just spent a lot of my life picking men who I had to pick up off their knees, had to get them up off their knees. And in return, abuse, resentment, discarding. I don't want you to go through that. And I know that in the comments are going to be many women who've been burnt by doing this. It's not because these men are evil. It just means that there's an order to things. There's a divine order to things. There's a way things are meant to be. And when we break the pattern and we think we can contend with spiritual laws, when we think we can bend energy to work in our favor, it's like a rubber band. It's gonna come back at us with force. We've got to be wise. We've got to take heed and ask ourselves, why do I feel this compulsion? I had to ask myself, am I really Mother Earth here? Like, am I really, really Mother Earth? Until I started going for therapy after I had literally been bankrupted. And I had to realize this is the 4th time I found myself in this situation. And every time it felt like the newest time I'd ever done it, because the stories were different, the situations were different, but it was the same thing. I kept choosing men that I needed to bail out. And so in my therapy session, I realized that I wasn't doing it because I was a good woman. I was doing it because I had so many traumas and so many wounds where I felt like I wasn't enough unless I was saving a guy, that he wouldn't choose me back unless I was choosing him. I recognized and realized that I was trying to buy love because I didn't feel worthy of it. I didn't feel I was enough. And if I found a guy and he wanted to take care of me, then he would realize I wasn't worth taking care of and I wasn't as valuable as he thought. But if I was taking care of him, he would see my value every day. He would be like, I'm gonna love her and I'm gonna keep her around because she's so valuable because of what she does. And it took a lot of time and a lot of healing and a lot of digging through and a lot of tears to realize that that was connected deeply to my relationship with my father. And recognizing that there were stories I told myself as a little girl. I used to feel like I had to look after daddy because my dad was so vulnerable to me, and there's so much to that story that I won't be able to share on this video. But I had to burrow right down to the root and realize that I wasn't just giving because I was tenderhearted. I was feeling compelled because I had abandonment wounds and I had stories and unconscious beliefs that I developed in childhood, that I developed through life, that I was enacting as a grown woman. So the most important thing is not, should I give him or shouldn't I give him? Is my situation acceptable? Is my situation not acceptable? The most important question is, why am I giving? Is it truly out of generosity, or is it really out of woundedness and pain? Now, if you don't know how to answer that question, like I did, I sought help because I saw a pattern in my life. I'm inviting you to pick up the phone. Go to blackswanrelationshipacademy.com. Go to the Discover tab and book your Discover call with one of the coaches, because we want to help you unpack your stories. We want to help you unpack your unconscious beliefs. We want to help you understand why you are in this situation in the first place. And we want to be able to advise you and give you accurate, individualized answers to your particular situation, because your situation may be the exception to everything I've said, and maybe your situation is exactly what I'm talking about, but you're finding it hard to see. Whether it's to do with bailing a man out, or whether it's to do with love in general, figuring out why you attract certain men, why you have relationship patterns, we're here for you. My team and I are here for you. We're here to help you. And maybe you're thinking, I've been through therapy. I've done so much therapy and I have been through so much. I want to invite you to try the Black Swan Relationship Academy. I want you to try coaching. I want you to try trauma-informed coaching. I want you to give yourself a chance. And if you think, look, Jengi, I just want to just change my life right now, why not enroll in the Soulmate Attraction System course self-study? You will receive a 30-minute free call with any of the coaches. Along with that, you will receive group support. You will have your coaches in the group ready to answer your questions. You will have a supportive group of sisters who are going through the healing journey, who are going through the self-awareness journey, who are going through the self-discovery journey to get to the other side. So there is a whole community waiting to embrace you, waiting to love you, waiting to help you as you do the Soulmate Attraction System course self-study. But if you're like, no, it's heavy for me, I need real one-to-one stuff, we're here for that too. I want you to know that you don't need to suffer anymore. The Black Swan Relationship Academy, my coaches and I, we're here to hold your hand. We're here to love on you. We're here to help you and direct you. This is why we exist. Not to do YouTube videos, not to be on social media, but to reach you, to reach that woman out there who needs answers. Whether you are married, single, or a man, you're welcome at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. I hope that this video was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. In the meantime,
simple steps to join Black Swan community. Download the Black Swan app from either Google Play Store or Apple Store. Launch the app and tap on register. Put in your valid information, then tap on continue. Put in the verification code sent to your email to authenticate your account. Then log into your account. Be sure to accept all permissions displayed at installation stage to enjoy all the cool features in the app. You can now enjoy a community of high-value women with support from coaches and trainers. Book calls with coaches, chat, post, and interact with the community. Enjoy!